Hello. I'm sitting in a park and I have a very sunburnt nose, but I want to talk about trees. Look at this big boy. I'm not sure what type of tree it is. It has pines and multiple trunks. Maybe one is a trunk and the rest are branches. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure I will do my research and find out. But I just wanted to talk about our connection with trees as humans, as beings of this, well, not of this world, but beings that are in this world. Trees are also beings that are in this world, but I believe that they are not of this world either. I mentioned in a previous video that trees are awake, conscious. They're obviously alive. I think even when people say like a plant is alive, they just think like it's not dead. Like if you don't water your plants, or if a plant doesn't get the necessary environmental factors that it requires, it dies. But when it's alive, I think people don't often acknowledge its consciousness, like the way we are conscious. Us men are a physical manifestation of the divine. We have been created by a higher intelligence. But we also carry that higher intelligence within us. And we forget because we're in this 3D world and it's all very physical, and we have to acknowledge our material self and the fact that we require sustenance to keep ourselves alive. And the trees are the same. They just move slower because they don't physically walk around like we do. We're travelers. We get to move around the physical world. Trees don't, but they have roots that spread out for a long distance. I'm not sure. I'm sure that each tree has its own kind of radius, and each type of tree can spread out differently. Like some could be meters, some could be kilometers. But I just want to talk about the connection that we have with trees, because the term tree hugger has been it's come up for me twice. Sorry, I tried to crack my neck and then I just looked like I was having some sort of exorcism. Tree hugger came up for me a few times recently, and I hug trees, and if you don't hug trees, I highly recommend that you give it a go, because when you hug a tree and you feel the connection of the bark with your heart, it's very warm and it's very pleasant. And if you can't hug a human today, hug a tree. They love it. They really like it. And I think it goes back to so we evolved from monkeys, right? Where do monkeys live? They live in the trees. We've been hugging trees our whole existence on this planet, and we've been living on them, living in them, and now we don't have much to do with them. In fact, we went through a whole phase, and it's still going on in certain places in the world, of cutting them down and using them for wood, and cutting them down in excess and not thinking about the consequences of cutting down a certain species of tree, cutting down rainforests. Not even for us, like the consequences for us are dire, so we obviously didn't think that through. But the consequences for the trees as well, and their spirits and their own consciousness. Even though they don't cry out when they're feeling pain, or like they don't fight back, except when you get hit with a branch. I feel like I've seen that in movies where they like a willow will like whip somebody, and I'm like, yeah, get him. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt them. It doesn't damage their whole network. There's actual like scientific studies about how when trees... I just realized I've been looking at myself for the whole video. Hello. That when trees, if a tree is cut down or if a tree is sick, with the help of the magical fungi, mycelium networks in the ground, they're able to have that communicated to the healthy trees, and then they can send their nutrients to that tree. And at the very least, they're aware of its departure or its whatever is happening to it. So that's incredibly intelligent. And yeah, so I think that next time you see a tree, you should have a chat. Have a chat with it. At the very least, give it an old high five. And I highly recommend hugging the trees because it's something that we're missing from our lives. And I'm actually in Auckland at the minute, and I'm very happy with the amount of trees in the city. I'm sitting in a park at the minute, like pretty much in the middle of the city, and there's beautiful trees here. And just to think of what it would have looked like when there was no civilization, or when Maori people lived alongside and with and in balance with the trees and with nature. Mind blowing, I'm sure. So yeah, it's really good for your energy. There's an energy flow when you sit under a tree and put your feet on the ground and your back up against the tree. And it's really, really beautiful. And it leaves you feeling refreshed. And it gives the tree a sense of connection to us who were once so dependent on them for housing and for general. I just am picturing like a monkey just like swinging through the trees, like just having fun. We used to touch them all the time, and we used to be in complete contact with them all the time. Our ancestors, like pre-Homo sapien, and then all of our Homo sapien ancestors, up until like very recently, like, yeah. So keep the connection going. And if not for the trees, for yourself. Hello. A little birdie is beside me. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Go hug a tree. And let me know how it goes. They're incredibly grounding, and if you ever feel unstable or anxious, hugging a tree is bound to relax you and make you feel better. Enjoy your tree hugging. Bye.